Hey everyone, Tom here with another video about GD&T and our engineering drawings. Just to let you know, I have a 3D printer running in the background creating an example that we're going to be using in a later video. So if you hear some noise in the background, that's what that is. It's not a washing machine or anything like that. Although you may hear my child screaming in the middle of this at any point, so I can't really justify any noises to begin with. But I wanted to show y'all a question that we received from Nicolo. He reached out and said, "Hey everybody, my question is quite simple, but it's been killing me for a while. Is it against the rules to put, for example, a flatness tolerance on a surface if that surface is a datum?" Thanks again for, thanks in advance for the feedback. Regards, Nicolo. Thanks for this great question, and this is actually a question we receive quite a bit. Because some people confuse how datums are used, especially when it comes to flatness. We know we're not supposed to use datums, or we're not supposed to reference datums with flatness. However, in truth, we can, yes, you can, put a flatness tolerance on a surface that is a datum. In fact, this is quite common. So let's show you a real example where this takes place. So, if you take a look here, we've got an engineering print that is for a clevis bracket. And funny thing is, this is actually the part that I'm printing right now. And as you can see here, we do have flatness on a datum. Now, there's a big distinction to make here. You cannot use flatness and reference a datum like this. Flatness will never have a datum reference. It is only a form control. Only location and orientation controls can have datums used. That being said, you can make this a datum right here, this surface, and then give it a flatness control. Or the other way around, you can give something a flatness control and then say, oh, by the way, this is also a datum. And it's actually beneficial to do that. And let's explain a little bit why. If you remember about our datum reference frames, with datum reference frames, these things are our perfect world. We're creating this perfect three planes around our part. Well, our parts, though, in CAD are perfect. When we produce them, they are not perfect. Some a little less perfect than others, right? So when we put controls on them like this, we're really saying that, yeah, I want this as a datum, which in reference will say that in a perfect world, it'll be a flat plane. But really, it's an imperfect world, so we want to limit any distortion on this surface, any waviness or any curve. Typically, this is what we'll get on a part like this, like a little bow like that. We would want to limit that flatness tolerance right there between two parallel planes. Sorry, my two parallel planes aren't very straight, but we'd want to limit that to a specific level, in this case 5/1000ths. And the reason is because we're putting this imperfect part into this perfect datum reference frame, or we're putting it on a granite table, or we're putting it into a CMM, which is going to take a flat plane from that surface. And what that's doing, remember, is we're trying to make this surface as close as possible to that perfect datum plane. By adding a flatness tolerance here, we're ensuring that that surface is flat, right? That's the whole point of flatness. And since it is a datum surface, it's our primary datum here, datum A, we want to make sure that when we put it on our granite table that it doesn't wobble, or when we assemble this with the mating component that it mates flush. We need something to ensure that it remains as flat as possible. This is actually a recommended practice. It's called qualifying your datums. It's actually encouraged. If you remember, due to rule number 1, the only flatness or the only form tolerance on this surface will be dictated by this size dimension here if this flatness doesn't exist, if we didn't have that on there. Well, that might be too loose. That's, plus or minus 10,000, that's 20,000ths that it could potentially be bowed or warped depending on how the size comes in. So what this flatness tolerance does is it comes in and says, well, we need this surface to be nice and flat. That way, when it goes to mate with its assembled condition, it doesn't rock back and forth, or that it mates flush. That way, when we go to machine it, we tell machining, hey, this is a critical surface. If this is too wavy, it might not mate correctly. Or we go and we tell the inspection, hey, we need to make sure that this is met first. Because if this isn't met, if this is too wavy of a surface, well, how good of a plane is this really acting as a datum? So that's why we do that. We're trying to make an imperfect part adhere as close as possible to this datum reference frame here. And if you notice with datums B and C, we've also done qualifying on these as well. So we've qualified datum A with flatness, we've qualified datum B with perpendicularity, and we've qualified datum C with perpendicularity as well. Datum A cannot be oriented in any way to another datum because it's a primary datum. It's oriented to itself. Nothing exists before that plane. Datum B, what we're doing is we're qualifying the datum by saying not only does datum B have to have a good surface, if you remember from our perpendicularity lesson in our fundamentals course, perpendicularity also controls flatness. But what this is doing is it's making sure that this surface is acting perpendicular to the bottom plane surface right here. Now, moving a little bit forward too, just wanted to explain that flatness is a type of form tolerance. So remember, these ones over here on this side never use datums, and these over here do use datums. So flatness is over here. Flatness only controls form. So we can't have flatness in reference to a datum because we're just saying how flat a surface of something is without reference to any other part. Just if it was floating in free space, how flat is this surface? Perpendicularity, on the other hand, is within reference to a datum. So in this case, we would be using a datum here. So we can't have a datum there, but we actually have to have a datum when it comes to perpendicularity there. So when it comes to using the symbols, flatness never will have a datum, and perpendicularity will always have a datum, or at least one. But when it comes to applying these to datum surfaces, to already existing datums, you can apply flatness to any surface you want, and you can apply perpendicularity to any surface you want. You can actually apply perpendicularity if the datum was a hole, right? We're controlling the hole's axis. So the datums can have controls on them. But what you can't do is you can't reference datums with flatness. That's the big thing. So I hope this helps avoid some confusion. This is something that we see a lot of people getting mixed up on. So I wanted to clarify this as it's something you may be seeing on your prints. Thanks a lot, and be sure to continue checking out the GD&T Basics course.